Students, now I am going to explain about the object-oriented programming with C++ in Unit 5. Right? So before going to object-oriented programming, I want to give some information about the structured programming. In the last section, we discussed about the structures in the C language. For the structure, a structured programming language, we are using variables, functions, and structures. We are using arrays, we are using functions, we are using variables, we are using structures in the last concept. In this, we are declaring some variables. In structured programming or procedure-oriented programming languages, we are defining a structure with different types of variables. Struct student, struct employee, struct data. We are defining some variables. Here, these variables are not having any relationship with any other function. Only for the purpose of declaring variables, we are using structure. Means, these variables are not directly or indirectly connected with any other functions, not associated with any functions. I will give a simple example here. You are entered the college, you are in the ground floor. At that time, you will access it by me, or you can access it by principal madam, or you can access it by other faculty member. Any other person can access you. You are senior or you junior, or any person can access you. Because you are in the ground floor, you are in the structure, not in the class. Means any person can access you. Means the variables we can usually here in the structure, they can access anywhere in the program. Means we can use or access these variables anywhere in the program or any function. We can access you in the class, you can access you in the main program, access by me, access by madam, access by other faculty. Any person can access you. That is, we are not providing any security for variables we are using in the C language. Right? Just take simple example here. I am declaring a structure A comma B. For example, A comma B are here. You both are entering into the college structure. Now, in the main I am accessing you people. Right? Here, student struct data. Yes, I am creating a subject. S dot A 10, S dot B 20. I am using one object, then we are accessing A value and B value. It means the main program is accessing this. This main function is accessing this data with the help of object, structure variable. We can also access these variables in other function also. Just consider this is another function, the same program, continuous program. Void sum. Again I am declaring struct data S1. Again S1 dot same I am writing here. Here also I am accessing S1 dot A, S1 dot B, because S1 is an object of data. That is a concept of structures. It means the variables which are declared in the structure are not accessed, can be accessed in any program, can be accessed in the program, accessed by any function. We are not providing any security. This is about the structured programming language. Now I want to give some security for these variables. Then we are going for object-oriented programming. What is object-oriented programming? OOP is an object-oriented programming. What is the meaning of this? In procedure-oriented programming, the procedures are functions that perform operations on data. But in the object-oriented programming, creating objects that contain both data and functions. We are creating procedures, we are creating functions, they are accessing directly the data which are available in the main or in somewhere. But in the object-oriented programming, the functions and data both are combined. These two are interconnected. Right? Without using this function, we can't access this data. Means these two are interconnected. These interconnecteds are given by object. Like this simple example. You are sitting in the classroom and out of 50 faculty members, how many faculty were assigned to you? Only 7 faculty members are associated with you. Means the 7 associated functions are accessing 60 data people. No other person is accessing you. No senior comes to your class. No faculty will come to your class directly into your classroom. These 7 faculty members are accessing you people. That is called these functions and data are get together. We are creating an object is become one. Without help of that object, we can't combine these two. This is a object-oriented programming structure. In procedure, the data is separate, functions are separate, there is no security for the variables. But here, if you are defining some data, the data should be associated with some functions. Those functions can access the data. That is the concept of object-oriented programming. Right? Now, it has several advantages. It is faster and easier to execute. Because all data and functions are combined in one place, we can easily access and faster to execute. Provides a clear structure for programs. Because all data and functions are available, a clear structure. We are sitting in the ground floor, it is very difficult to identify you people. It is very difficult to access you people. But you are sitting in the class, yes, it is easy to access you people because you are in a particular place. It provides a clear structure for the programs. It helps to make the code easier to maintain, modify and debug. You are sitting in the ground floor, it is very difficult to identify you people, it is difficult to give something to you and assign some task. But you are in the classroom, yes, only 7 faculty members, 60 students. It is easily maintain or modify and debug the program. OOPS makes it possible to create full reusable applications with less code and shorter development time. It is used for a within less time we can develop a good coding part and very complex programs we can also develop by using the object-oriented programming. Okay, then next, what is the difference between structured programming and object-oriented programming? Now first, structured programming. A structured programming is designed which focus on process and logical structure and data required for the purpose. It requires some structure and the structures can use the data. Right? Object-oriented programming, the design with focus on data only. Here, the structure is separate, the data is separate, the functions are separate, individual. But here, the data is important. To access the data, we are using some functions with help of object. That is, the data is most important point in the object-oriented program. It is secured. Here, there is no security for the data. The second, it follows top-down approach. The structures are declared in the top. You are using the main program. But here, bottom-up approach. We are declaring a class, but we are not comes to your class to teach you. I should assign with some timetable. Then only I will come to your class. Right? So it is called bottom to top approach. Bottom approach. It is top-down approach. Bottom to top or bottom-up approach. It is also works from top to bottom also, but both are possible here. It is only for top-down approach. It is also known as modular programming and subset of procedural programming language. It supposes some other extra concept whenever using the concept inheritance, encapsulation, and so on. I will discuss in the next what is inheritance, what is encapsulation, and so on. It is programming. Programs are divided into small self-contained functions. Main program, sum function, read function and so on. But here, the programs are divided into small entities or called as objects. Right? Next, it is less secure. Here, secured. The data is not secured here. Here, the data will be secured. Simple example, here in the ground floor, anyone can access you. There is any security to you? No. But here in the classroom, yes, you are in the secure. No one will access you. People, only the faculty who are coming to your class will access you. That is called security is available in the object-oriented. Structure is not available. Next, it can solve moderately complex program, and it can solve any complex programs. It is restrictions are there here. Here there is no restrictions are available. It provides less reusability, but here with more reusability is available. Right? Less abstraction, more abstraction and more flexibility. So we are in the classroom, we have a very flexible to communicate with you, but we are in the ground floor, it is not having the flexibility, proper flexibility to communicate with you. You are hidden, abstracted, you are hidden, you are grouped together, all become when people are grouped one together. That is called abstracting the data. Here there is no abstraction. Variables are somewhere, functions are somewhere, main program is somewhere, different. That is called structured program, and this is called object-oriented programming structure. This is the differences between structured programming versus object-oriented programming. Right? So what is the object-oriented concept? Means how to achieve this object-oriented programming. To achieve this object-oriented programming, we should learn some object-oriented concepts. The first concept of the object-oriented is object and class. These two are most important. The class, the object, because of these two, because of this class, abstraction is available. You are sitting in the class, you are hidden. You are not visible to outside. Abstracted. Whenever this abstracted is available, then we have these three other topics. Encapsulation. It's nothing but a class. Encapsulating, wrapping the data into single place. We are sitting in different available, but I am grouping together, I am making as a become one class. That is called encapsulating. Then inheritance. From one class to another class, we are deriving properties of U. I am teaching unit 5 now. Just I am explaining about unit 5. Just I will remind you, in the last class you discussed. In the C language you discussed these data types. In C language you discussed about the input output. Means just I am comparing. I am getting the data from C language to C++. Here also that is called inheritance. Polymorphism, many forms. One person having many functionalities. For example, I am teaching you C++ or C. When I go to the second year, I will teach DBMS. I will go to third year, I will go for web technologies. Means my name is same, but my functionalities are different. That is called as the concept of polymorphism. All these we discuss now. Class. A class is a collection of variables and functions. First, it is a user-defined data type. In C language, what are the user-defined data types? Only structure, enum and union. But here we have class. A class is a user-defined data type. A class is a logical abstraction. Why we are classing? Logically, we are abstracting data into single place. Is called as a logical abstracting. Hiding data, gathering the data into single place. That is called a class is a logical abstraction. A class is a collection of method and variables. We are the method functions. All the faculty are methods, functions. We are giving some input to you. Right? Where you are storing the subject in your minds. That is called you are the variables. So methods and variables. It is a blueprint that defines the data and behavior of a type. We have the data and how these data will be acted. That is called a behavior will be specified. This is called as a class. Second is object. After declaration of the class, I want to access you people. I require one object. An object is instance of the class. Is a instance of the class. It has all the properties of the class. All the properties of the class. An object is an identifiable entity with specific characteristics and behavior. It is a real-time entity. By using this object only, we are using class variables and class methods. Without this object, we can't use variables and methods. It is called as an instance of the class. Third one, encapsulation. The name suggesting that encapsulation, capsule. Capsule, in medical shop we are getting the capsule. Tablet. Tablet means only one component, is a variable. But capsulation means small atoms are there in the plastic ball and they are combined, we are getting a capsule. It is called encapsulation, binds together data and functions that manipulate the data and that keep both safe from the outside interference and misuse. You are in the classroom, you are in the secure data. I want to access you. We are associated with some functions, faculty members. You are secured, so safe. Outside you are not invisible, so you are not going to misuse. And we are manipulating the data. Today I am taking one class, means you are manipulating some information in your mind. Previous data, adding some extra data. I am extracting some data. I am conducting an exam. Yes, I am taking some data. That is because some manipulations are performing on you. Right? That is done with the help of the encapsulation. It is the most important concept of the Object-oriented programming is called the data hiding. Next, after encapsulation, we have the next one is called as a data abstraction. Abstraction means displaying only essential information and hiding the details. The data abstraction refers to the providing only the essential information about the data to the outside world, hiding the background details or implementation. How the subject is teaching, we are hiding. How the subject is storing into your mind, it is hiding. But all other faculty knows that, all other knows that this faculty going to this class to give this subject. This faculty going to this class going to deliver this lecture. They know that information. But we are hiding a most important information to outside. That is called as a data abstraction. That the background, what is happening, we are not showing. Right? Go to the ATM machine, we are inserting ATM card, we are entering the ATM card PIN number. Then how you know that? How this PIN number is valid? You don't know. We are entering the balance amount 5,000 I want to withdraw. How the ATM machine is giving, how it is verifying your balance, your account having the balance is background. We are not giving the information to outside, but some information we are giving to outside. The remaining information is hidden out in the background. That is called as a data abstraction. Fifth one, inheritance. Acquiring the properties from or getting the properties from one class to another class. Getting the properties from one class to another class. For example, financial accounting. Financial accounting. Whenever the financial accounting one is teaching in the last semester, this semester Madam is teaching financial accounting 2. Madam, in the middle of the teaching, she will use that in the last semester, we are using this topic. Means we are getting the properties from one class to another class. So this semester we are learning C++ and C. For next semester we are learning for Java. I will remind you that in last semester you learned the data types. The same way here also we have the data types. Means I am taking the properties from one class to another class. That is called as a inheritance. And the sixth one is the last one, is called a polymorphism. Many forms, just now I explained. I am teaching C language to you people. When I am going to the second year, I will teach DBMS. When I am going to the third year, I go to the web technology. I will sit in the, I go for the BSc people, I teach the placements related information. Means my function name is same, but I have several functionalities. That is called, a polymorphism is a combination of two vehicles, poly and morphism. Poly means many, morphism means forms, many forms. Means a single function having many functionalities. My function name is Venkat, but I have so many functionalities. That is called as a polymorphism. These are the object-oriented concepts. Right? These are the 6 object-oriented concepts: class, object, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. All these are object-oriented programming concepts.